Okay, so we're going to start with business credibility. What we're talking about today is controlling the perception that lenders and customers have of your business. And I've got everybody on mute. You can submit questions, and at the end of the webinar, I will review those questions. So we're talking about controlling the perception that lenders and customers have of your business, and you do have control. And so we're going to talk about how you can do that. The first is, let's define credibility. Okay, what is it? It's the quality of being trusted. Some of the synonyms there are, reliability, honesty, being competent, focused, accountable, loyal, and trusted. All these fantastic qualities that we like to see in individuals. These are the same qualities that we like to see in the people we do business with. These are the same qualities that creditors want to see in individuals that they lend to. They want to feel comfortable that that business owner will pay them back, of course, and that it's a valid loan that they're about to submit. Okay, credibility and your business. What do others perceive about your business? That's an important question to ask yourself and step back. What do others perceive about your business? So if you were to look at your business as an individual that had never come in contact with your business, what would you see? And really ask yourself that question. Spend some time answering it, writing down what you think you'll see, present it to other individuals and ask them for their feedback. It's a great way to really step back and look at your business and look at how you can improve. The next is, how are you controlling their perception? How do you control others' perception of your business or what you're doing? And there's many ways to do that. We'll drill into it in more detail, but it's important for you to have that mindset that you are in control of the perception others have regarding your business. The next item we have is, what factors affect your business credibility? It's important to understand what things are affecting that credibility. Things like your website, your email address that you're using, the way your employees are dressed, your storefront, your banners. So many different little items and big items affect the perception and your business credibility as a whole. The next is, if your business is perceived as credible, how does that help your business? Well, I want you all to think about some businesses that you view are credible. I want everybody to think of one and get them in your mind. Who do you believe is credible that you have done business with and that you feel a level of comfort with? And then ask yourself this question: why are they credible in your eyes? So what business out there do you feel is credible and why? And list those out in your mind to help you understand how others are looking at your business. Okay, I think we can all think of a business that we've done business with that made us feel comfortable, that made us feel like we could trust them. I'll never forget, I did a business transaction with a company, and they sent me a handwritten letter. And that will always stick with me. I will always look at them as a credible company that really had a profound effect on my perception of their business. And it was handwritten letter. This is a large company, a huge corporation, and yet somebody took the time to write a letter to me. And you can see that stuck out in my mind. So we do have control over others' perception of us, our companies, and we have control over what creditors see when they look at our business. Let's go right into that. Credibility and banks. You get one chance to make a good impression. You only get one chance with a lender. You can always come back and apply later, but usually that's 6 months to a year before you can visit them again. So you really get one good, solid chance to make a good impression. Banks are trying to prevent loss. Many of you know I'm part of the advisor team, of course, and I started my career in working with small businesses as a banker. So that was where I came from. I worked for a nationwide bank as a small business lender for many years. And our first first task is to prevent loss. Okay, so we want to make sure that the application is not fraudulent. And the second thing we want to do is make sure we're going to get paid our money back. So it sounds like two very basic principles, but that's what it really boils down to. So a banker receives your application, and the first thing they're doing is this application real? Is this individual real? Is this a fraudulent application? Are they trying to just get money, and so forth? And then, am I going to get paid back? And so we're mitigating the risk of the application. Banks will verify your application, cross-checking all the information that you put on that application. And let's go into one more item, credibility and customers. So how long does it take a customer to form an opinion? And I want everybody to think of some number. How long do you think it takes a customer to form an opinion? Yeah, think that through. Think about how long it takes you to form an opinion of another company when you walk in their door or go to their website and so forth. Come up with a good solid number, and I hope you have it in your head. So what it is realistically is under 1 second. You have under 1 second to make a firm, solid impression on this customer that's walked in your door or that you're talking with on the phone and so on. You've got under 1 second. So where are first impressions made? We need to map those out. We need to audit them to understand your impact. So things like storefronts, signs, employees, online banners, representatives, reports, and so on. All of these items have a firm impact on what your perception is, what these clients' perception is of your business. And you want to have a map of this. You want to have control. You need to audit what you are doing and make sure everything is in line, pointing to that impression that you want to make to these clients and also to the bank, for the bank. So your first impression strategy, you need to have one and take the time to develop one. You have less than 1 second. And I think that's interesting that it really is under 1 second that a first impression is made. So it's so critical that we make a good, solid impression and we look at all the items that we make an impression with. Okay, so credibility development. What is your credibility plan? We just talked about that. The fantastic part about the Business Finance Suite, and we call this online program that we use to walk you through the program, that's called the Business Finance Suite. It's the online system that the advisors use to walk you through it. Okay, so step 1 outlines these effective areas to develop credibility. This is not something that's new to us. In fact, this is the purpose of step 1. And many times, a business owner will come in and say, I just want funding. And we know you do, and we want to get that for you, but we've got to have a strong foundation. The business has to be credible. We've identified why. Now you understand why it's so important. But step 1 is basically going to the gym, flexing those muscles, and preparing for the financing. So banks are going to verify the items that we've mapped out in step 1. We know that. That's why they're in step 1. Client's perception is also developed based on those items in step 1. So let's go over step 1 and let's talk about these items here. So this is step 1.1, and this should look very familiar to all of you. You can see here at the top, we've got some tutorials, and my voice will sound very familiar as you go through those. We've got our action items here at the top. So it's important to have a business entity or to foreign file if required. So why do you need an entity? I have a sole proprietorship. I've been doing business for years. It's been just fine. Why do I need an entity? Well, there's multiple reasons, from a legal aspect, from an accounting aspect, but also from the financing angle. We need to build business credit. And we can't build business credit on a sole proprietorship. A sole proprietorship is me, Megan, doing business. It's not a corporation. It's not a tangible thing that we can build business credit on. We have some great resources here, Sage International. They're not part of our program. We do refer clients to them to set up entities because they do a good job, and they get our clients all the tools and the resources they need to really have that corporation or LLC set up correctly. Okay, so you will always see these boxes within the program, and those are just tried and true resources that we've lined out for you and to make this process easier. Foreign filing, what is it? Basically, if I am operating in a state different than the state I'm incorporated in, I need to foreign file. There needs to be a paper trail. So as a banker, I would get an application and I'd look at the corporation name. And the first thing I would do is verify that. So I'm going to pull the Secretary of State record. I'm going to pull any business licenses I can and the IRS record. And I'm going to look and make sure that corporate name is filed, that it's filed correctly, and it's laid out just as it is on my application. Okay, so that's why this is such a key element. So you enter in the information at the bottom so the advisors know you went through this page, and then hit save and continue. Okay, so the next item here is the business name and address. I get lots of questions about a DBA. Can I build business credit on a DBA and my corporation? Well, let's think about it. So you are ABC Corporation doing business as Joe's Taco Shop. Okay, well, you're doing business as, so a DBA is not a separate business entity. We're actually building business credit under the corporation or LLC. So keep that in mind. If you really want to use a DBA, that's fine. When you ever fill out an application or a document or anything regarding the business, you want to make sure you have your corporation name or LLC name and then list out the DBA within the DBA field. Okay, we always need that paper trail. Bankers need to be able to verify. Just as we said before on the foreign filing, I'm going to pull up those corporate records and I need to be able to find it. If you put the DBA name down, I can't pull your state filing. There's no connection, there's no paper trail, nothing's going to come up. And that means I have to decline based on unable to verify the business. You didn't even get past the first hurdle. Okay? So the next item is the business address. Okay, I know there are so many businesses that run very well out of a home, big businesses. Uh, and I understand that. And the issue is creditors don't, that's not their preferred address. They want to see a tangible business location, not a UPS store. They have Google skills just like you and I. They can Google that address and, oh, yep, there it is, UPS store. They know they are going to Google the address, or they're going to identify where your business location is. And so they prefer to see a business location if at all possible. We can still get financing with a home-based business, but we're trying to give you the best case scenario. So we do recommend having a business location, not a UPS, not a PO box, nothing like that. You want to have an actual business address. We've given you a good resource once again that's tried and true. We've used them for quite some time, and they're here within the box. You can click to get more information, and they will talk to you about what products they have. And of course, that's not part of our company, but just a good resource. Once you've completed this page, then you know everything is in order. You'll enter your information here at the bottom and then hit save and continue. Okay, this is step 1.3, the business phone, the 411 listing, and the fax. Yes, a lot of us use a mobile phone as a business phone. The issue is that creditors can see that it is a mobile phone. They want to feel comfortable. Remember, we're trying to give them that warm, fuzzy feeling that we want them to feel like you're credible, okay? And so if at all possible, we recommend that our business owners set up a business phone number. Now, we have Ring Central that does virtual phone numbers that are set up as a business phone number. And that's a great solution for a lot of our clients. Some clients do have their phone company bring in an actual landline for the business. Many others will use this virtual business number and just forward it to their cell phone. So they still have that accessibility, but yet they have the credibility of an actual business number. A fax is optional, but we always recommend having a number so that you can put it on applications. We use that same resource, Ring Central. They've really been able to help a lot of our business clients. Now, the last item on this page is a 411 listing. What is 411? Well, it's a directory system, and many of us don't use it anymore. The group that does is the creditors and the vendors, the trade accounts. They like to use this as a form of verification. So there are a lot of times the client will come to me and say, hey, I got declined, what happened? And it usually, we can track it back to this 411 listing. So you'll want to make sure that you enter your business phone number here and click yes, and we'll submit that phone number to 411. It typically takes 1 to 2 weeks for 411 to get it listed. It's sent automatically when you complete this form. And so you'll want to check back. And the way you do that is simply by dialing your area code 555-1212, and you can check to see if your business phone number is listed. So again, we're building that credibility of the business. Let's hit save and continue. This is step 1.4. We're talking about website and email. We have a firm position on the website in that, yes, we want to help you get financing, but we also want you to generate more revenue if at all possible. And if you think about it, both are very important. So you're here because you may need financing, or you wanted to build your business credit, or you wanted to prepare for financing. Well, we also want to help you generate more revenue. And how awesome is that? So one of the best and effective ways to do that, one of the most proven ways, is to have a website that's effective. Anybody can build a website. We know that. But is it effective? Are you reaching out to all those individuals that are Googling? Are you coming up towards the top? Are you really reaching those clients that are a good fit for your business? When somebody pulls up your website, does it look credible? Do they feel comfortable? I know whenever I am looking for a product or service myself, I look online and I will search around, and I find the website that looks the most professional because it makes me feel comfortable. That may not be completely logical, but that's the way I go about it. And that's the way most individuals go about finding a company to work with nowadays. So it's really important to have a good, solid website. We want you to generate more revenue, and that often can come from a website where you're getting more clients or you're selling more products. Okay, we do, of course, have a great resource within this box, Online Biz Suite. They are one of my favorite companies that I refer my clients to because they do such an amazing job. And that's really important to me. I know they are so good at what they do, and they really have helped so many of my clients take their business to the next level. So this partner here is listed within the box. Of course, an optional resource, but you can always click to get more information on their product if that's helpful for you. So when you're done with that segment, you'll enter your information at the bottom of the page and hit save and continue. Okay, so on this page, and we're about done with step 1, and I know you all feel like you're in a coaching session, but that's what we're here to do. So step 1.5, the federal EIN and business license section. Once again, these are items that creditors verify. So when I got an application as a banker, I would pull up what they filed with the IRS. I'd look at the business name, the address, the ownership, and I'm verifying those items against what I received on the application. I want to make sure that the business is legitimate. I want to make sure that the individual that submitted the application is indeed authorized to sign on behalf of the company. So it's very important that you do this right. If not, you want to update it. You can do that here. If you don't have an EIN, you're not comfortable with filing on your own, you can click on this link in LegalZoom. yet another helpful resource within this box can help you. Business licenses. Every city, county, state is different. For instance, in the state of Nevada, if you file a corporation, you just simply need a business license. It's the way it is. In other locations, you don't have to have a business license for several types of business, but others you do. So you'll want to call your city, state, county offices and identify what licenses are needed. I know that's just even more time you as the business owner has to spend making sure everything's filed correctly, but it's worth it. You want to make sure, and it's important to us, that you are operating legally and that you have everything in order. Creditors know what licenses are required in your area. So if you applied and you had a Nevada corporation, they're going to look for that Nevada business license. And once again, like I said, when I was a lender, I would pull that license and look at the business name, address, phone number, any contact information they gave, and the ownership. Again, making sure this business is real, making sure the person that's submitting the application is authorized to do so on behalf of the company and sign for the company. Let's go to this page, the bank account. Okay, I have a lot of good, helpful questions like what is the best bank account to choose? Let's see, what are the other questions here? My business bank account is currently a personal checking. Is that different? Do I need to get it fixed? So this website is a great tool to give you the answers to those questions you probably have rolling around as it's time to set up a bank account or maybe modify the account you have for your business. It's important that your business has a bank account. It shows that your business is operating. Step back and think about what you would want to see if you were a lender. And wouldn't you want to see that the business has a bank account, that it is indeed operating, and that there is money coming through that account showing that the business is truly active? Wouldn't that give you peace of mind? Well, it also gives a lender peace of mind, and they like to see that. So it's important that you have a bank account. Not all lenders will verify it, but what we're trying to do here is prepare you for any underwriting or verification process you will go through during the life of your business. We want to flex those foundation muscles. We want to prepare for the race of running a business. We want to go to the gym and get these items in order and put in that time and effort, so when it's time and when it needs to be there, when we need that resource, or when it is time to verify that it's already in place and there's not that moment of panic or a silly decline because it wasn't there. Okay. The last item here is merchant credit card processing. A lot of business owners will tell me, you know what, people are paying me by check. I'm fine, or they pay me by cash. Uh, that's fantastic. But what I want to say to that is clients will pay more, they'll spend more, they'll purchase more from you if they can pay with a credit card or debit card. So it's important to have a merchant account if at all possible. Okay, and like I said, we want to help you generate revenue. We don't want to just help you get financing and build your business credit. We also want to help you improve your business. And this is one of those areas that has a drastic impact on generating more revenue. So if you're not taking credit cards or debit cards, we suggest that you do so. You'll find that they will purchase more, that you may get more add-ons and things like that. So it's important to have it in place. Another word of wisdom is it's good to have a backup merchant system. As you all know, merchant credit card companies are pretty temperamental. If you do anything that makes them worry, they may shut down your account or freeze it. And as you know, if you're operating a business, if your merchant is shut down, that really puts a dampener on doing business that day. So we highly suggest having a backup merchant processing company. We have a really good partner that we've partnered with. We've been working with them for many years. I feel like they take really good care of our clients. And so another useful resource here, you don't have to use them, but what we're trying to do is take out the learning curve. This is somebody tried and true that we've worked with for a long period of time and that many of our customers have worked with. Okay. So you answer the questions at the bottom and then hit save and continue. And this is the very last page of step number 1. And this is the verification page. So again, and I can say this phrase in my sleep, creditors like to verify the business name, address, phone number, EIN, bank account. They want to make sure that the contact information between all these records is the same. Okay, and so they're going to verify your state filing, your county filing, the city, the IRS, your bank account, the 411, and any other miscellaneous items that you have under your business name. Make sure everything is in order. A lot of times I'll get questions, hey, my bank account is under a business name. Do I need to change the name? It's a pain. Yes, you do. You want everything to match. You don't want to chance a silly decline. You want everything in order always. I know as a creditor, when I received applications and everything was in order, it was a slam dunk. If it wasn't, and nothing was a huge red flag, then I would ask for tax returns or financial statements. And what I'm going to do is verify the revenue because I'm in an area of caution. And then I'm also going to verify the business name and address that shows on the tax return because it makes me feel more comfortable that the business is real. I see that the business has filed tax returns and so on. We don't want to get to that point. We want them to be able to verify the business without asking for additional documentation. And the best way to prevent that request for additional items is to have everything in order. I would say almost more than half of applications were declined just based on credibility issues only. And that's a profound statement, and I'm going to say it again. Over half of the business credit applications that are declined are typically declined based on credibility issues only. So if somebody did their homework, got everything in order, that client could have been approved. They could have got the financing they needed for their business, but they weren't. And in the banking world, they're quite interesting. They're not going to tell you how to doctor up your application to get an approval. They're not going to tell you what they're verifying. So they're simply going to say, unable to verify business, or come up with some other very generic decline reason, and they'll send you on your way. You'll continue to apply with other banks and continue to get declines. That's what we're preventing. We don't want our business owners to go through that all too common scenario. We want to make sure that you're applying the correct way every time. And that's why business credibility is so important. So we went over step 1 and these items here. So what I'm going to do is dive into our questions. And I've got some emails coming through, and I'll respond to those. I've got one here. Let's see. What is the sources you recommend for 411 listings? So I just had that question. So what we'll do is go to step number 1 and let's show you. Here we go, 411. Okay, so all you do is you enter your business phone number here and you click yes on this question. Would you like us to submit your business name, phone number, and address to the National 411 directory? You click yes and you hit save. Okay, and we automatically submit that information to 411. From there, it's up to 411 to list the information. So if it's a VoIP system or like Magic Jack, sometimes those don't list. So those are areas of caution. Ring Central lists very well. Other landlines, those tend to list just fine. But in the end, it is up to 411. 95% of the time, they will get the number listed or update any 411 listings you already have in place. That typically takes about a week, but up to 2 weeks. Okay, I hope that answered his question. Let's look and see if there are any others. How do you know that it's listed? Well, let's go back to that page. Good question. So right here, verify your business is listed. So once you hit save, your listing information is automatically sent to 411, and you'll need to verify. So you'll dial your area code 555-1212, and you can verify that your number is listed for free. You can also call, just dial 411 from any phone number, and you can check to see if it's listed. Typically, you're charged for that. Okay, let's see here. I've got a couple other questions that were sent to me by email. If you have any others, go ahead and submit them through the GoToMeeting, but let's see what others have here. Okay, let's see. It looks like we covered both of those questions. So anyway, so that concludes what we wanted to talk about today. These are always going to be short webinars, typically 30 to 45 minutes, and we're going to go through these basic principles that are so important to business owners. We're going to have some guest presenters. We'll have other members of the advisor team participate in these, and I really want you to get to know our advisor team, feel that comfort level. And what's most important to me and why I'm here is I'm here to help small business owners succeed. And that's my goal. And that's what I want to see is I want to see my business owners generate more revenue. I want to see them get the financing that they need. I want to see that they have a strong business foundation and that they are prepared for the lifelong journey that running a small business will be. And we all know it's not easy. So anyway, that concludes our webinar. Let's see, I had another question come through. Tiffany, I'll answer you directly by email on that one. So anyway, join us next week for our next webinar. You'll receive emails. You've already registered for this webinar, so you'll have email reminders every Thursday at 4:00 p.m. Eastern Time. Everybody have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me. Feel free to contact our advisor team anytime you have questions. Our phone number is 800-497-0499. Our email, advisor@businessfinancesuite.com. Everybody have a wonderful day.